Welcome to the sheet metal tutorial by Aaron and Andrew. First thing that we'll be going over is a list of tools that we utilize to complete this project. Starting from left to right, you have your fold orders, anvil, measuring tape, Robinson screwdriver, ballpoint hammer, center punch, rivet gun and rivets, aviation snips, metal file, scratch awl, square, measuring or ruler, and the clamp. This here is the handbrake, which will be utilized for folding the metal. And then you have your shear, break, and roll, which can be used for cutting, rolling, and folding or bending your sheet metal. The next thing we'll be going over is the layout. So to start, you want to create your fold order. You're going to use this by getting a template or some sort of other drawing to go off of to get your measurements, and then begin by cutting out what you've created with correct dimensions in order of operations. You complete this for each piece, so we have a piece completed for our box and the end pieces. And then you grab a piece of sheet metal and use a shear, break, and roll to cut it to your largest height and width. As you can see there, we just did the height, and now we're going to do the width of the sheet metal. We then place the fold order onto our piece of sheet metal, fit it correctly, and score the perimeter of the fold order into the sheet metal so that you have something to start with to add measurements to. Once we have the perimeter done, we then begin adding our measurements to the sheet metal. We want to do this in various places for each fold so that we ensure we can create a straight line. As you can see here, we've done 3 on the top, and we then use the flat edge of the square to line up our marks and score a deep line into the sheet metal so the line was very clear and visible. Once you complete all your markings onto the sheet metal, you then begin with the cutting. Using the shear, break, and roll, you want to cut all the outside corners, ensuring the cuts are as straight and clean as possible. The ones that you can't get with the shear, break, and roll, you will get with the aviation snips. Using as much as the snip as possible, you want to cut the corner on both sides, ensuring to get a clean cut, and if there's a tab left over, you grab it with your hand, break it off, and then use a metal file to shave down any pointy edges. We then complete the fold order onto the sheet metal for the end pieces, scoring deep lines again. Due to this being all outside edges and no inside edges, we can use a shear, break, and roll for the whole thing, making sure the cuts are clean and precise. Next, we begin folding. Using the handbrake, you're going to lift up, put it on the edge that is labeled 1, because you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 onwards, and you're going to clamp it down. Once this is secured, you're going to grab the handles on the brake, fold it up, and due to this one being a complete fold, we're going to go past 90 degrees as far as it'll allow us and fold it over. Then we place it back under the handbrake and press down to ensure that it is a clean fold. As you can see here, it's completely folded over. We then grab the hammer and go on the anvil, and we go in a down and forwards motion to ensure there's a very clean, crisp crease that can be utilized when folding. We don't want to have any bubbles left. We want it to be flat and straight. As you can see there, it's pretty clean, crisp. You can't see any light through it. We then go and begin creating the walls of our box. So this would be the part labeled 3, and as you can see, we just come up to about a little bit past 90 degrees to ensure a crisp, clean fold, but we don't want to go past it as we're not folding this one over. Once the outside edges are done, you're going to proceed to the next. You want to watch out for your tabs, as you can see in this video, ours collided, which creates a little bit of chaos, but it's not a big deal. You can get rid of those with the hammer, but you want to ensure that they're folded out so they meet nicely once folded up. Using the vise, you can fix this by using your hammer and just hammering them into place. You want to do this anyways to ensure that it's a nice flat surface and that everything joins correctly. As you can see, we repeat it on the other side here, and it gives you a little bit better of a visual on what we're doing. So you just make sure it's in tight, get it on the corner, and just hammer it down and out like we were previously, and just get a nice clean fold together here to join. Now we're going to put in our end pieces. So you want to make sure they fit correctly, nice and tight. Now we're going to get into our final touches. Using a piece of wood, you're now going to grab a drill with a bit, and you're going to use your center punch to punch in your slots, and you're going to drill down through so you can apply your rivets. So you see here we're using the center punch again and drilling down through. You want to make sure that your holes are parallel to each other so that it's a clean look at the end. You now grab your rivet, you put it in, grab your rivet gun. You want to make sure that everything is pulled together tightly. Place the gun on, and you usually pump 3 times for the rivet to finally secure, and it gives it a nice clean look that is tight and hard to break apart. Now we're using the drill again to drill the top part where we're going to place our handle. Ensuring that the handle is centered, we will then put a screw in each end and secure the handle correctly. You want to make sure that the handle is not too short or too long, pushing the boxes out. Here's the final product. So you see here the rivets are all in line, nice clean edges, not a lot of blemishes going on in the box, and a great overall final product. Thank you for tuning in.